I had a little trouble getting on the internet today, but I'm here. So I left off. This is where I'm at with this Ralph character or puppet. I went out and I bought some. Um, these are those silicon cutting mat things, or I don't even know what they're the flexible cutting mats that they have at the 99-cent store, which a lot of people recommended. And I didn't realize when I first got it that they come two to a package, and so I cut through two of them. But I have a couple of options here. Here's the first one, which has no mouth plate. You can kind of get that roll, but he won't be able to shut his mouth all the way. Then I have this one, which is built like a regular mouth plate with a flexible inside liner. He'll be able to shut his mouth, and he'll be pretty flexible. I'm going to try both of them as a test today, and we'll see how I get. I haven't really finalized what the head shape is yet, but part of that today will be figuring that out as well. I want to get some. I always call it gator board, but really what it is corrugated plastic. Gator board is something else apparently, because I looked it up last night and it's a totally different product. But what I want is something that's it's like that stuff that the political signs are made from. It's like it looks like corrugated plastic or corrugated cardboard, but it's actually made of plastic. What I like about that is it only will roll this way as opposed to all over the place. So I think that's probably what I'll end up using, but I got to locate some first. I think they sell it at Home Depot or Staples. I just have to get some. And that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to start cutting this guy apart. All right, so try not to stab myself as I do this. I'm gonna have to make some more of these eyes too, because I can tell I'm gonna run through a few of them. Okay, so here's where we're at just with the mouth. And I think that the lower lip needs to be made at L200, which is why I marked that as that. But other than that, I may actually make this part L200 as well, because I don't want it to swoosh in as much. I think everything else is going to be Scott or reticulated foam. So let's get to cutting. Oh, I should probably. Well, it's marked for the most part. So a lot of times with contact cement, you can actually heat it up and cause the glue to just peel off. You're gonna have to cut it for things like this. There we go. thought maybe I could do it there too, but I don't think so. I think that'll do for that. It doesn't have to be the cleanest thing in the world. We're still working real dirty right now. Oh, and I didn't. Okay, so those are kind of my patterns I'm going to try. I don't know that I need that one, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to do this out of one piece of foam right now. And I think once I get the pattern, I'm going to figure out where, if any, I want to put the, like change it out for L200 or whatever foams. So I think that'll be cleaner than trying to do it in several different steps like this. We'll see. I'm going to clean up a lot of these edges because they're pretty rough right now. But that's just the way that I, made the nature of the beast, I guess. I kind of almost think that the original head shape was actually pretty good. I just put it together wrong last time, or the type of foam I was using made it do different things. But I'll see. A lot of these should line up pretty close in that I did start with the same pattern, or start with an actual pattern that I had done, but they're not They're not exact, which is interesting. Hi, Tilly. Hi. Tilly just comes in here and stares at me sometimes. Okay. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. And actually, I should have probably marked the eyes here. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Oh, hi, TC. How's it going? I'm just trying to true up some of these patterns. My favorite part of every build. I don't think this is the final. I think this is probably the second to last. I think I'm going to put this whole thing together, make some adjustments, and then have to repattern the whole thing. But it shouldn't be that big of a deal. There's one of them. Sorry, I have the window open because it's so hot here. Okay, so these, believe it or not, are the same piece. Actually. What's the date today? Ah, 25th. TVTC, good. Still working on making some frog heads in foam. Are they all the same frog? Are they all new frogs? Are they kind of based on Kermit or something you designed? Or did we already talk about this? Every day is becoming just like the last. So I get for having consistency, I guess. I was playing foam building frog skulls all afternoon and trying to make patterns. Oh, cool. How far did you get? Oh, okay, cool. I think we did talk about that before. Yeah, I haven't tried that one. I did base a frog pattern on Project Puppet's glorified sock pattern, puppet pattern, and it worked pretty well. I made a pretty good like kid-sized Kermit out of that. Okay, so I'm gonna do the medium between the two of these. Hopefully it'll work. And like I said, I think this is going to be, this right here is going to be where I make L200 piece in the front to make that lip a little bit more. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that a little bit longer because I remember when I was doing it that it seemed a little small. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. If I have to, I can cut it out. Custom arm, hands, flippers, and a good foam understructure. Cool. I'm trying to think what patterns I've bought and used. I bought a lot that I never actually made, just to kind of see how they were put together. Oh, wait. So this goes like this, doesn't it? See, I knew this was going to get confusing. Yeah, okay. So this is not the skull. This is the mouth plate. In fact, I probably should trace this one again to make it clean because it's going to get super confusing super fast. And I don't want that. Am I using 1-inch foam? No, I'm using 1/2-inch foam. I always find 1-inch foam is too difficult to work with. It's hard to cut. It's hard to bend. I have used 3/4, and that seems okay. But for the most part, I use 1/2-inch for just about everything. I probably should use 1-inch for some stuff, but again, I'm setting my ways. Wait, this gets so confusing so fast. I just got to make sure that I'm doing it right. We got to go like that. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so I want to mark as much as I can remember. This is 6. Okay. I'm a nervous wreck. Okay. That will go away. So this is a cutoff that I didn't think. This is actually the pattern. I almost thought this was the pattern. So again, it's good to, while I'm just throwing this on the floor right now, it's good to get the stuff that's not going to be used on the out of your way so that you don't accidentally use it as a pattern or throw away the wrong pattern or throw away the pattern itself. so that is, this is the mouth. Okay. Okay, how do I mark this? I'm already like, they're running out of room here. Wait, did I do this upside down? No, that's right. Okay, good. It's the most nerve-wracking pattern I've done in a long time. This is why I like to make most of my patterns be two pieces, so I don't have to worry about all this stuff. But okay, so that's a good pattern. This is a bad pattern. That's a good pattern. Is there anything else I need from this? Oh, the mouth plate. I'll probably make 3 of these heads, since I'm going to try different, maybe 4 different mouth plates to see what I like best. We'll see. We'll see how I could get lucky on the first try. We'll see. You know, I cut this out by just eyeballing it, and I got it pretty symmetrical, really, all things considered. Maybe it's spelled Ralph, right? Ralph. Now, paint. Ralph. I probably won't use these marks, but just in case I do, I want to have them. Okay, there's that one. Might be all of it right now. Oh, what's this? What is this? I don't think this is. I think this is a piece I cut off. Yeah, okay. Phew. I think that's a piece I cut off when I was creating it, and it was just sitting here. So hopefully that's what it is. And not something I need. I just want to get some of this garbage out of here so that I don't use it for something. Okay, well, first of all, let me cut out one of these mouth pallets. I'm actually going to cut out two of these because one of them is going to have a two-part mouth plate and the other is going to have a no-part mouth plate. Okay. One thing about this stuff, it's super easy to cut. I can't imagine how you'd use this as a cutting mat. In fact, okay, so this is supposed to be a cutting mat. Let's see what it does. Boy, that works great. I don't know how that's supposed to work. What do you expect from the 99-cent store, I guess? Oh, I need to mark the top and the bottom of this too. I already forgot. 2 attempts. This is a dynamite cutting board, let me tell you. I'm barely putting any pressure on it at all. I don't think that's long enough. Okay, I'm going to cut this guy down, and I'm going to make a 3-part mouth plate out of this. Puzzles and puppets. I think I'm also going to make a foam mouth plate. And I know right away because when I tried this out on the prototype, I could barely puppeteer it without a bunch of stuffing in there. So I am going to have to put a pocket in here for the upper mouth palate to work. Okay, so there's that. I think I'm also going to try a foam mouth, and I'd like to try a whatchamacallit, corrugated foam, corrugated plastic one. I wish I had some corrugated plastic. Oh, are you talking about that piece I found? I didn't know what it was. That is puzzles and puppet patterns. Oh, I was gonna make part of this foam as well. Well, I'll figure that if it needs it in the next version. I was gonna make part of this L200. I think probably from about here to here, the L200. Yeah, they do. This one is such a weird pattern too. I've never tried anything like this before, with the cheeks curling up like that. But I sure was happy with the way that it moved. I don't think I've had a puppet that could give me a good sneer. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one head and see how that does with the um, how that does with the different mouth plates, and then from there, the next one I'll probably make out of L200 and stuff to make sure that it will work. I'd hate to make like 3 of these and only find out that on the first one that none of it worked. And I should do a little bit of labeling on this. Okay, there's that. I had to see if I had any L200. So this is interesting. You see these? Can you see these little dots? That was from Miss Tilly before she lost all her teeth. She chewed on all this L200. I actually have another piece over here that has even more of her her teeth marks in it. It's pretty funny. Well, I had it a second ago. I'm not sure where it is. But I have a lot of pieces of that Tilly chewed up when she was young. One time in the shop, she chewed up a Miss Piggy torso that BJ had from Muppets in Space. It was a reject, though. Tilly has very expensive tastes. Okay. Good thing this is just a prototype because I did a bang up job. I'll cut this on the bandsaw when I do the real one, but okay. I wonder if I should make that piece in the front here. I think I'm going to try. Can always cut it back together if I need to. Yeah, it doesn't go. It doesn't take long to turn a Rembrandt into a Picasso. See, I think I can make this one piece, so I'm going to do that. I have no idea how long I've had this piece of L200. I know I got it from the shop. I think it might have been left over from one of the last projects we worked on in the shop, because we did have a lot of gray L200 for that one. All right, there's the front lip. So the reason why I did that is because it's going to butt up against the eyes, and also I don't want the upper lip to curl up when I scrunch up that mouth, if I can help it. I may want to make it out of just regular foam, but as of right now, I think it needs to be EVA or L200. I could be wrong. Again, you know, it's kind of like you make all these decisions now, or you make all these experiments now so that you aren't making them on the final one. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. When I made Eddie's head, because I knew the ears were going to be need someplace to seat, I used L200 up there too, and in certain parts of his head. And I think that with Ralph, with those eyes, they're going to need a little bit of structure there to keep them from pushing in when the mouth moves. So what I was just cutting out was the upper lip. Okay, so I'm already getting confused. That goes. That'll go like, I don't know why those registration marks aren't lining up. That's pretty scary. Let's see. That should line up to. No. No. All right, we'll see how this goes together. It's all an adventure. I usually plan on 3 prototypes per head, brand new head. So I do the really messy one that I did yesterday, or was that day before yesterday? Day before yesterday. And then I clean it up, which is what I'm doing right now, and make adjustments. And then I make the final one based on whatever that pattern is. And usually it gets to the point where I want it to be. Sometimes I have to do a 4th or 5th, but most of the times it's 2 or 3. Okay, so there's those. That makes sense. I noticed on your Ralph video that the chin was marked L200. That's what I thought it was, the chin. Yeah, I already cut that part just before you got on, Dave. Get rid of some of this stuff. And the reason why the lower jaw is, the lower lip is L200 is because that's usually where the thumb ends up wearing through the front of the mouth plate if it's regular foam or just fabric. And I wanted to have a little bit of structure there so that the thumb had something to rest against. All right, so these pieces in the final one will be the reticulated foam, these pieces here. This will be L200. This will be L200. And I think I can try and glue these things together now. Here goes nothing. Second, I got to get set up. Okay. So I'm going to attempt to not get confused. Ooh, that's interesting. So why is there only one? Oh, there's one here. I just don't want to get confused. It's already confusing enough. All right. All right, so this will be the mouth.
Okay, let's see how that works.
Okay. Again, there's some of Tilly's teeth. Okay, let me make sure I have this in correct. Kind of think I need to heat form the front lip if I'm going to do it this way. But okay, so there's that. There's that. I think we'll try this guy first. Well, no, let's try this one first. This is the one that's closest to what I was going to do before. So this is going to go around like so. Okay, so I think I need to glue it to this first. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I kind of think that the L200 in the front needs to either be modified or heat formed or not used at all, but we'll see. I'm trying to figure this out here. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Dave Baker says the cosplay EVA L200 is so much easier to work with than the floor mat type, in my experience. The flexibility of the cosplay foam is a nice change when one has been used to using the floor mat. Yeah, I mainly use the floor mat stuff for patterning, or if I need something super rigid. Most of the time, I'll use L200 or the cosplay stuff.
Yeah, let me hit this with the heat gun real quick. Okay, so there's that. So let me think how I did this. So this has to flip around like so, and then this has to go. Okay. Boy, this is a complicated pattern. And then this turns around to become the lower jaw, like so. And then the mouth plate glues in just like that, and then I can fold it over to become that. Okay, let's see if that works. See, I'm not sure if EVA foam and L200 are the same thing. They're similar. Like I use the upholstery foam for patterning the the Scott the dry fast foam because it has the similar stretch and similar bendability as the more expensive foam. I use the EVA foam for L200 because it's similar to that one, and so that way I can use a cheaper alternative than the expensive stuff, because the sheet of L200 runs about $40.
I should be roughing this up. I should do a lot of things to it, but this only has to last a few minutes to make sure it works. I also will probably bevel this edge to make it a little easier to glue this in place.
Okay. Well, let me put it on correctly. Well, it almost works. Okay, so right away I can tell you it's different. Okay, so I think these cutting mats are not going to work for this mouth. Just isn't rigid enough. You got kind of this weird pursing that's happening. Yeah, I think that's not going to work. Okay, so let's, I can already tell you I'm not going to use for that other one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another cardboard mouth, because I know it'll be basically the same as using the corrugated plastic ones. But since I don't have any of the corrugated plastic, I'll just use this for now. Yeah, this stuff is garbage. Anybody who recommends it, I think it's good for a Kermit the Frog style mouth, but not much else. All right, so I'm not going to say it's garbage, but I just don't think it'll work for this. I don't think so. I could maybe plastic. I don't know. I see. I actually think that when I originally was doing it, I was thinking I was going to use foam. I might just use a piece of what do you call it? Not Scott. Reticulated foam. The dry fast. Because if I lined it, it'll be pretty good. But yeah, that's not going to work. Okay. So the reason why this is good is what I did was the last time was I just rolled this center part. And so that allowed me to do this kind of, keep it rolling, So let's see if that'll work with this one. If so, then I'll just go get some corrugated plastic, and I think that'll be perfect.
I'm not the biggest fan of birch. I always end up I don't like the way it claps, and it's always a big pain to get it cut just right. I like using the plastic, the Sintra, but I mean, if it's the right thing for it, I'll do it. But I can't remember the last puppet I actually put birch in. A lot of the crank anchor puppets were that way. And if you didn't puppeteer them just right, they'd clap. They'd make an audible noise when you shut them out. I don't like that.
Okay. But I could be wrong. It could be the way I have to do it. So. All right, so this is already starting to look more like the original. I do think one thing I did differently is I should be gluing this cheek up here as opposed to on this part. So I'm going to make a note about that. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Yeah. So the cutting board seemed like a no-go. So many people use it. I bought several of them to try out, but haven't yet built a puppet with a super flexible mouth. I wonder how people get around it. I found the same issue of the curled lip with gasket rubber. Yeah, same here. A lot of what I really want is I want it to be able to roll this way, but not this way. So that's why I think the corrugated board is going to be the way to go. Okay, so but again, it was good to try. It cost me $1.25. I can't really argue with that. And it might be good for something like a Kermit the Frog. So
I actually did this on the original glue up. I just forgot when I put it together. So whenever there's a crease, like a laugh line or something like, a muzzle, you kind of want to cut it. You want to glue it, unless you want a really smooth transition. You want to glue it so that you have an edge on. You butt one edge up to the other. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see what I did there, but I kind of folded it over. So now when I shut it, there we go.
So now when I shut it, it gives me those cheeks back that I had. Okay, I'm not loving the back of this. I think I'm going to change it back to the way it was on the original head. I think that when I use the reticulated foam, it'll fix that. But I do like the front of this. So I'm going to graft that onto the old pattern. Okay. Where are my eyes? BJ mentioned in the Stan Winston course that he's mixed flexible material with the birch plywood or other rigid materials, if I remember correctly. Not sure how to join them. Okay, so I've done that too. In fact, I have it on this old Ralph head that I showed yesterday. And I may have done it wrong. So I don't. Now I use the mouth rubber and the whatchamacallit, the Sintra for that plane to go over. So that lower lip is made completely of mouth rubber all the way to here, but up to this point is the Sintra plastic, the sign material. So what in theory that should do, it should allow me to grab it and pull it forward. However, I've just you can kind of see how that works, but it doesn't work real well. And I must have done it wrong or something, but I think that's what he's talking about. I mean, that might work with this. I don't know. I want to get away from this clamshell. I want to make it like a roll, like almost like Wembley's mouth, where it kind of sucks in. Maybe I've used a little bit of that. I think the biggest problem with that is I don't think you get a real good you get the really good bond to the mouth plate, and I just feel like it would fall apart after a while. Okay, so all right, so with the nose on, it's kind of like Popeye. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll round this off in the final one, and then add that mesh, jersey mesh to the bottom of it there. And then these eyes will go on like so. So I'm actually going to alter the pattern now to some extent. I'm going to mark where the eyes are. Yeah, I think that might gasket rubber might be a way to go. But like I said, I don't want it to curve this way. I want it to just curve that way. So again, the corrugation I think is going to help do that. I have some gasket rubber. I can try that right now. And it definitely needs finger loops. I'm not going to have any in here in this mock-up. So, oh, there go the eyes. Did I break them? No. Let's see. Yeah, I think with something to pull on the back here. Yeah, okay. So let me get the gasket rubber and we'll try that. What are those eyes? I hate Chase. They're Christmas tree ornaments. Okay, so let me get some gasket rubber. Oh, if I have any. I used to have a humongous piece of it. Let's see if this is big enough to get a mouth wrap. Oh boy. All right, we're gonna try this. You're gonna see why I laughed in a second. So those eyes, Chase, are it's a Christmas ornament that you put like glitter in or something, and you would it goes together like a ball. But I ground off one edge and glued it together to make these Ralph eyes. All right, so the reason I laughed is check out how close, like it's a little small, but not bad. I can just barely get this thing on here. All right. And again, I need the finger loops and all that, and this isn't going to have it, but you can at least see that if it's structurally good enough to do it. Put the rubber only in the middle area where you want the movement. Yeah, Chase, a good one is to go to Adam Krutinger's Puppet Nerd site and do the snoof. You guys know it better than me. I think it's the snoof pattern. That's a good starter. And if that's not available, the glorified sock puppet pattern is a good one too from Project Puppet. Charles, I think you're right about. I mean, that is a good idea, but again, I wanted to be able to roll the whole mouth back and forth. So I think I need the flexible material all the way across. I just don't want it to have it be able to scrunch up this way. So the corrugation all came off, but the last layer didn't. So let's see if I can. So for those of you playing along at home, the best one so far has been the corrugated cardboard. My first build was building Mayberry back for the Melonpool movie, and we all know how well that turned out. Okay, let's see how this works. This is gonna be the last try that I can do on this, but it's informed a lot of things for me. I figured out a few things on this.
I mean, the other way to do it would be for me to use just use the tape hinge like I usually do. Just make it really big. I feel like that cutting mat would have worked if it was about 3 times as thick. I mean, that stuff was just about as thick as paper.
Yeah, I could. That's a good idea too, Charles. Using strips of plastic and gluing them to your felt mouth material, giving you the roll with the structure you're looking for. Yeah, that might be a good option too. I think this is going to have a similar problem that the cutting mat had. Yeah, we got the duck mouth. Yeah, it's. I don't think this will work, but it was a good try. I mean, the gasket rubber works pretty well here at the corners. Maybe using what Charles was saying about using plastic for the front and the back would be helpful. I'm gonna go get some of that corrugated plastic and see how that works, and then from there, at least I kind of have the head figured out. Although I'm gonna change that back part. Yeah. All right. Well, I might as well fix that part that I know. Yeah, the problem with that is I don't know that I'll get a good bond, but I can try it. I have used puppets with the corrugated plastic. It does work. I don't know why everybody doesn't want me to use it, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I would be showing it if I just had it. I just don't have any. Yeah, I think it will be. I think that'll be the way to go. And that was, well, there is one other I can try. No, but that's not going to work either. I'm going to have the same problem. If I just made a foam mouth, that's going to have the same problem that these guys have. Okay, so next up, I want to cut out these eyes. And I may not use this mount. Like, I'm still planning on putting the eye mech in, although I don't know that it's going to work. I may be asking for trouble. The first thing I'm going to abandon if this doesn't work is the eye mech. Boy, that messed up that structure. All right, so what I learned from this, what I learned from cutting this out is I'm only going to cut this piece like that. The other piece, I'm going to leave so that'll fit down in there and hold up on there, I think. Maybe halfway. Maybe halfway, that's what I'll do. Sorry, I'm just thinking. I may not want to do this at all. Oh, no. I mean, I know, but like I said, I just want that roll. I just want that roll out of the whole front so you can scrunch up like this, and the bottom so you can scrunch up like that. But I don't want any of this. That's what I'm trying to solve. And the closest I've gotten is with the corrugated cardboard, being able to do that. You know, I can kind of, but I get nothing out of this, which is, yeah. Okay, well, I know it feels like I haven't done too much today that it was worth keeping, but I did figure this out. I figured out the lower lip. I figured out this here. I figured out the front part of it, although I'm not going to cut this part out. It was just to see what would happen. I mean, I suppose if I glued this in, if I glued that in place like that, it would still have the structure. Okay, I'll revisit that. I'll revisit that part of it. I'm going to get some corrugated cardboard, and tomorrow I'll put together yet another version of this, and I should be able to at least move on to the next part of this, I think, which would be the iMech. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.